And today we'd like to present a way to fight against the Alekhine defense. So I'm going to go straight into this presentation. And here there are various moves, but I recommend the exchange variation. There's a lot of opening traps here. So now, as you can see, black can take with the C pawn or can take with the E pawn. These are the two options because the queen is not such a good idea. You would win a piece like that. So now, what are the ideas when you take on D6? Well, in my videos, I like to show all the ideas at once. And today, because it's very important, also the move order. So here we go, moving it right here, beautiful. We have on the left side, the ED6 variation with the move at the bottom. On the right side, you have the CD6 variation number 2. And you can come back to this video and look at the move order and the move notation at the bottom of your screen to replay this variation. But now, more important than learning the moves, why is that a great setup? So let's go straight into the action. Let's see E takes D6. That's a move which gives me a lot of issue when I play online. So H3, the idea, you never want black to play bishop G4. So now you play knight F3. That knight prevents that bishop here to come to G5. And because you play H3, bishop G4, not possible. Now we're gonna go castle. We take the long diagonal here. That bishop here is looking at H7. Knight C6, knight C3, bishop F6, attacking G4, and here you play castle. Obviously, you don't fear taking here because you play check. This will be much better for white. So over here, all Alekhine players will play rook E8. And this is very important. And here you're going to play B3. So why is B3? And that's what all you need to remember. The reason for that is like if you play bishop E3, that's a normal move. But black has one idea, is to push. Then you don't want to exchange and you would push yourself. The knight comes to C4 and you take it. But now bishop E6. It's a very complex position and you are not better here. So instead you play B3. That's because if black plays D5, now you play C5. And the knight cannot push to C4. And here you simply take. And if they exchange, in this position you have a superb move, bishop B2. And you have a near winning position with great pieces attacking black. So here we go, B3. We prevented the two ideas that black wants to play, bishop G4 and D5. Now that bishop here has nowhere to go. G4 not possible, A5 not possible because of your bishop here. E6 you're gonna come into D5 and D7 is a poor square. So here most players with black will play A5, trying to get some counterplay, and you have knight E4 threatening to take here, and if bishop moves, you play knight G3, and if they push like that, bishop B2. Look at this position, incredible. You're here, you have some ideas, you are much better. If black pushes, you go here, and what's next? You are in total control. Now, in this position of a player may play G6, now you simply develop. Once again, you don't fear D5 because you always have C5 here. And if they try to get your bishop pair, you say no thank you. And here you play queen D2, your rook's gonna be active, you're gonna play A4, and on D5, you're always gonna push C5. So you're in control, and look, black has pieces which have yet to be developed or are not very active. So the player with black will not enjoy this position, trust me. So now, if I recap a little bit quicker the move order before we go to the second variation. So here what we do the exchange variation. Black take with the E pawn in variation number 1, H3, Now you castle. You don't fear taking here because you have this check here, and on rook e8 you do b3, getting ready against d5 to push. And that's where on a5, one more move, I like knight e4 a lot. Now keep in mind that if black were to be greedy, that's a trap. Here, you can check with your computer, this is winning for white. Black can never take on d4. So this is what's very important. You don't play bishop e3 defending d4. You defend indirectly with the move b3. So now we have covered this variation. I'm gonna go back to the main idea to show the second variation. So we covered the position on the left. Now we're gonna cover the position on your right. So variation number 2, here we go. So here we're taking with the c pawn. Now we do knight c3 first. Now if black were to do knight c6, you have to go like that, and you can push here. And the thing is, black can never take because, boom, another trap, winning a piece. So most players will not play knight c6 here, but play g6. Now you do h3, that's pretty familiar. And now we have the position number 2. So in this case, black developed the bishop on g7 and is attacking g4. Once again, very important, you have this pawn on h3 to prevent bishop g4, putting more pressure here. So now black has two ideas here. Black can play e5, attacking d4, or black can play bishop f5 because you put your bishop on e2. So let's do bishop f5. And here, Alex Astaneh, IM recommend d5. That's a very cool idea. If a knight comes here, you play rook c1, and you have a great position here. You're ready to play b3. You have this pawn chain, and you are doing fine. So most players might say, well, knight a5, c4 is attacked. And this is a nice idea. You're gonna give up the pawn. In this position, a4, threatening a5, winning c4. So black will play a5. And here, you're pawn down with white. Rook e1, putting pressure on e7. Now, queen d7 is more logical move. And now you play bishop g3. So the idea here is like these knights are kind of like awkward placed. They don't do much, and you are preparing queen h5 and bishop h6. This is weak. The rook is controlling here. You are doing extremely well. So this position, let's say king h8 is the best move. You go queen h5. Look at this. Bishop h6. Bishop f5. The rook is targeting here. Maybe bishop g5. You have such a great position, and these knights here, they're stranded. So that's something that you have to know, because if you were to ask me over here, I would say, oh, I'm losing c4. So can I really play that? I cannot play b3 because you will lose a knight. But knight d4, an excellent pawn sack. Now, to be very exhaustive here, bishop f5 is a logical move, but e5 is logical. Why? Because black has to put pressure on this d4 pawn, and that's possible with that pawn here, because once again you prevent bishop g4, which black would love to play. And now what is a play on e5, you may ask? And you have to know here, because this move, bishop g5, is very strong. It turns out that the queen doesn't have very good places to go. If it goes here, you have knight b5 attacking the queen, and that's very dangerous. So f6 is logical. But by doing this, you are opening the long diagonal. Let me just explain. You retrieve the bishop, and here, if you go f5, you take, and here, queen b3. So that's very dangerous. The king moves, and you simply play rook ad1 followed by knight d5. White has a lot of play with c5 lurking around. Much better for white. So bishop g5, f6, bishop e3, and here king h8 is a much better move. But it doesn't matter. You play queen c1, and here rook d1. Look at that. That's very dangerous, and if black were to try to do some shenanigans, you simply are crushing like that. Look at that. So, in other words here, very important on e5, you don't push here, you don't exchange, you play bishop g5, and now only you retreat, and you have a great position with c5, queen b3, queen c1, bishop h6, and this structure here is very weakened. It's not a good position. And last thing, in this position again, that bishop has nowhere to go, right? We just look at bishop f5 or bishop e6 versus d5, and you are threatening queen b3, and this is such a great position for white because bishop c8 has no future. So I think it's time to recap the move order here. We go cd6, knight c3. Now we develop our knight because black cannot play the pin. And here we are ready on bishop f5, we play d5. And on e5, we play the crushing bishop g5, the best move according to Stockfish. So we are in excellent shape here to fight the Alekhine, and this is time to show you one last time the two variations that we covered today. On the left side, ed6, on the right side, cd6 on move 5. And I hope you enjoy this recap. This is fairly long variations, but your opponent with black will be prepared. So you need to prepare up to move 10 or 11 because the move order is very critical to gain the advantage. So I hope you enjoy this overview. Feel free to leave your comments, questions, and I'll see you in the next one.